Greetings. My name is Will Moss. I am the CEO of HBCU Connect, and we're super excited to be introducing you this evening to Crossroads Charter Schools for a special diversity recruiting and networking event where you'll have the opportunity to meet the Crossroads Charter Schools team, understand what they're about, their mission, and what the opportunities are. So definitely take advantage by asking questions and engaging in this awesome event this evening. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing I like to do at our events is go over the agenda and set expectations on what we're going to cover in this evening or this afternoon's event. So first, I'm going to give a brief welcome on myself, a little bit of a background on HBCU Connect and our partnership with Crossroads Charter Schools. Second, I'm going to introduce Tycee McDowell, who's the founder and superintendent of schools at Crossroads Charter Schools. Then we're going to meet some members of the team. So actually, Crossroads Charter Schools brought in 4 team members that we're going to introduce, get to know them a little bit better, their background, their path, why they chose Crossroads Charter Schools. Then we're going to talk about why work and consider Crossroads Charter Schools as an employer of choice if you're an educator. Then we're going to introduce our school administrators who are here with us tonight to answer your questions and to engage. Then we're going to jump into the breakout rooms where you will have the opportunity to ask questions, engage, introduce yourself, and get to know the team a little bit better on a more personal note. We won't be recording the breakout rooms as well, so if you can feel like you're in a safe space, but we will be recording this main session as you probably have already seen on your screen. Then we'll come back from the breakout rooms and talk about next steps. And of course, thank you all for coming. All right, so brief introduction on myself. My name is Will Moss, again, founder and CEO of HBCU Connect. The purpose for the existence of our organization is to provide opportunities and connect folks to opportunities. So that is what we're here doing tonight. We want to introduce you to the Crossroads Charter Schools team, let you understand who they are, what they do, what the opportunities are, and allow you to network, meet the team, and talk about those great opportunities that they provide. So this, like I said, is one of our first events in the education space. So you all are pioneers in charting the way for future events in this space. So we thank not only Crossroads Charter Schools for being a part of this, but also to all of you that have taken the time out to participate. So the opportunity for you this evening or this afternoon is to learn, to engage, to ask questions, to get to know the Crossroads Charter Schools team, and then hopefully you'll feel comfortable and excited about applying for an opportunity to potentially teach or be a part of the leadership team there at Crossroads Charter Schools. So that's the purpose. This is an intentional event. We want good things to happen. We want folks to land interviews and be hired from this event. So definitely take advantage. All right, so I'm going to introduce the keynote, Tycee, but first let's start with a video so that you all can have a little bit of background on our keynote.
Crossroads Charter Schools was started in 2012. We wanted to create a school where whoever you are, student or staff, you can be creative, you can be who you are, and you can learn and grow together. We do a lot of student choice for staff too. Like they love having that creativity and flexibility. There's no script here, so like you can be your true self. One idea that a teacher had was she had her students at recess. They heard some men speaking. They were speaking French. The men were Black men, and the kids asked the teacher, like, we didn't know Black people spoke French. She took that moment. They did this whole study on that and why different people speak different. And plus kids got to know you could be Black, brown, white, whatever, and you can speak whatever language is. So
this is my 9th year here at Crossroads. We've kind of built the school that we've envisioned, but I think we've come upon things that even have made this even better than what may have been originally envisioned at the beginning. I enjoy being in the classroom with my students. We focus on a lot of growth mindset. I'm trying to set them up for success for taking ownership of their learning. They continue on with that feeling of, I can do this, I can make it happen. I want them to not only notice that I'm feeling proud for what they're doing, but that they also feel pride in their own work and feel that what they're doing is important.
Crossroads is is unique in many ways. It begins in the classrooms and the quality of teaching, but it goes further than that in that they become part of an urban environment. You see them over at the library, you see them in the parks. The investments that we've made in Crossroads, in facilities and programs, have been very rewarding. Crossroads is recognized as a leader. I think it's a showpiece to have what is recognized as one of the best schools in Missouri be in downtown Kansas City.
It makes me feel extremely proud to be a part of this Crossroads community as a parent, as a staff member, and as a friend to everyone. My youngest son struggled with math a bit. We have been lucky enough to have very supportive teachers that have been consistent, that have provided the support that he needed and have been patient most of all. Now Isaiah is in a place where he feels very comfortable with math, which I never thought we would get there. So if my kids were not able to have access to the quality education that they have right now, I know that we would be struggling. As a family, it is definitely a blessing that we found this school. Crossroads, no matter what we go through, we do not give up. We always find a way, and no one is left behind.
My passion for teaching comes from me myself being a kid who didn't have representation. I grew up in the suburbs and there was never any teachers of color, but it's super important for me for kids to see themselves in me, to walk through the door and feel hyped up and feel loved and feel like, you know, you're important to me. I see you, I appreciate you, I love you being here, and I want you to be successful, and wholeheartedly mean that. I think one thing that has drawn me to Crossroads is that no matter where you go, the work is always going to be there. But one thing that makes the work easier is when you enjoy the people that you work with. In that time, we make families feel heard and seen, and more importantly, like kids feel heard. We've been here for 10 years, changing lives. Like kids have graduated that started with us and are on their path because of us. It makes me feel proud of like peeling off paint off the stairs and trying to move in furniture and sitting in a classroom that had wires hanging out. I was like, this ain't even gonna happen, but it did. It makes me feel extremely accomplished. We are forever and always forward striving, forward moving. We are an organization of fight and of passion.
Being here at our 10th year anniversary is an honor. It's good to look back and to see all the growth of our students and staff and our great parents and our donors as well. Like, we couldn't do this if we did not have community. We've opened 3 schools in 10 years, right? And the whole plan was just to open 1 school, but I got tricked into opening 2 more. So here we are.
Awesome. Let me skip to the next slide. Okay, so let me introduce Tycee McDowell, co-founder and superintendent of Crossroads Charter Schools. So Tycee, if you are ready.
I am ready. Thank you. And I have seen that video, I don't know how many times, and it really was a true community support that really started the school. So sorry, I got a little teary-eyed watching. Welcome, and thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm going to share just a little bit about me and then the history of our school, and then I will turn it over to our team on this call. So my name is Tycee McDowell, and I am the co-founder and superintendent at Crossroads Charter Schools. I was born and raised in Davenport, Iowa. If you have been to Iowa or from Iowa or anything, put that in the chat. I would love to know that. Or even if you've just heard of Iowa, put that in the chat. I graduated from the University of Iowa with a bachelor's in elementary education and a minor in African World Studies. I taught in Des Moines, Iowa for a few years, and then I decided to move to a big city, and I didn't know exactly where I wanted that to be. So I sent out applications to all the school districts that I heard about in the news. So I sent one to New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and Kansas City. And I said, whoever was to hire me first is where I would move. And Kansas City ended up calling me, had an interview, and they offered me a job. So that's why I am here. That was in 1999, or as my kids would say, the 1900s. I know it was a long time ago, but that's when I came to Kansas City. I taught in the Kansas City Public School District, and I taught and was the principal for a charter school here in town. And through those different jobs, I learned a few things. First, I learned that a large school district is like a large cruise ship, right? Like it's really hard to turn, to pivot. It takes a lot of layers and things like that. So I knew that I wanted to move more towards the charter school side. And I also learned that those who create policies and make decisions in larger school districts are not close enough to the day-to-day schoolwork that happens. Second, I learned that we have to have high expectations for all kids. I have worked at schools where either the principals or the board or someone thought that, you know, since the kids were poor or brown or black, we shouldn't stress them out too much, or we shouldn't put too much pressure on them. And I don't believe that at all. I believe that the bar has to be high for all kids. We give the kids the things that the tools that, you know, they need in order to hit that bar, but you cannot change the bar, because once you lower the bar, then that does a disservice to the students. A third thing I learned is that besides churches, schools are the most segregated places in our town. That was something that I wanted to stress out a lot as well. And then fourth, I've knew as a teacher, and I learned as a principal, that teachers do their best when they have support and input. And so those are kind of the four things that really drove us when we started Crossroads. In 2011, a colleague and I started planning this new charter school that was going to have high expectations for all students. We were going to be grounded in project learning. And we knew that we wanted the school to be diverse. And not just diverse because it looks good or, you know, because it's nice, but I really believe that we learn a lot from those who are different than ourselves. So in 2012, we started Crossroads Charter Schools with 190 students in grades K through. Our plan, like the video said, was to just have one school, grades K through 8, with about 400 students. But here we are, 11 years later, we have 3 schools and over 1,000 students. So a lot of growth in a short period of time. Our mission is to prepare and inspire students to build a better tomorrow by providing an academic rigorous pre-K through 12 education in a collaborative, community-focused environment. We wanted our school to be a place where teachers love to come, students love to come. We want our students to be grounded in community service as well. So we chose our schools to be in downtown Kansas City because we knew of the civic and the cultural opportunities there in the area. And we knew that downtown did not belong to a certain group. Like it wasn't a Black neighborhood or a white neighborhood or Hispanic neighborhood. It was just downtown. So it belonged to us all. And we wanted our students to know that they can have a positive impact on their community. And we start that off by, in kindergarten, students start doing service projects for our community. The other thing that we were really trying to do is to have school be inclusive, and this was very personal to me. My mom and dad were parents. My dad left and I didn't hear from him for over 10 years. Neither of my parents had gone to college. Due to housing trouble, I attended 5 different grade schools. So I knew that what a school could do for a kid, because my teachers truly saved me. And I wanted to create a school that would notice kids like me and help kids like me as well. I am also a foster parent, and over the years I have adopted 3 of my foster kids. And of course, they might have trauma and special needs, right? Going through that. So in planning the school, we really thought about what kind of school could we create that helps different kind of kids, right? Like kids that learn with their hands, kids that learn through books, through writing, kids that learn through movement. We knew that we did not want to be the charter school that kind of skims off the, like smart kids from the school district. We wanted to be a place where kids could come and learn, and to do this, to provide that type of school for kids, we do have to have different types of supports in place. So we have SPED staff, we have ELL staff, we have counselors, we have restorative justice coordinators, we have different paras to help our students. And so we were trying to create an inclusive school where students get their needs met. One other thing that I think was critical to us and still is that we believe that a teacher should have a seat at the table. We know that if we're going to do what is best for students, we have to hear from our teachers, right? Like they have to have a say in our school. Each school has an instructional leadership team that is comprised of teachers and staff, and of feedback to our building principals, our district to as well. I conduct quarterly roundtables for each school staff. And so they have a chance to, speak to me, to ask questions, to voice concerns. And then we have a weekly survey where staff can send in questions and concerns. So just this year alone, by hearing from our teachers, they helped us to create a parental leave policy, and through their feedback, we did also make adjustments to our school calendar. We provide competitive teacher pay, and you get a salary based off of your total years of experience. There is no cap for us. We celebrate our hardworking staff by doing various events throughout the year. We have monthly gatherings or happy hours, or we'll play like a game. We have staff breakfast and holiday celebrations, and we do have an end of year barbecue, like an old school barbecue at the end of the year, which was really nice. So we have a great team. I am lucky to be able to work with these great people every single day. They are excited to meet with you further and tell you more about our wonderful schools. So thank you for your time.
Oh, Tycee, thank you.
Yeah,
Now, if I could ask you one question,
sure.
you could sum it up. What are you most proud of at Crossroads Charter Schools?
I have to say our teachers, like they have hung in there, right? Like teaching is not easy. They have hung in there with us through COVID, through changes, through growing, right? Like we grew. Those who, like, we have a few people on the call who started the school with us or, you know, joined us in year 2 or 3, and they have hung in there. So through the growth, through the COVID, through everything, they have just hung in there. And I'm really, really proud of our staff.
Excellent, excellent. So Tycee, thank you for starting us off and for this awesome opportunity that we are presenting today to our candidates. So thank you, Tycee. All right, so next up, I'm going to introduce 4 panelists who have agreed to basically come and share their experiences, share their path or their journey to Crossroads Charter Schools and what they currently do at Crossroads Charter Schools, to give you all a better idea of who will be, joining us this evening in the breakout rooms as well, and then to give you also that background information on hearing from someone who actually works at Crossroads Charter Schools. All right, so first up we have Alicia Lee, who's a middle school ELA at Crossroads Charter Schools, and also a TSU grad, HBCU down in Tennessee. So Alicia, if you're ready, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Like you said, my name is Alicia. This is my first year at Crossroads, but it is my 7th year in the classroom. I went to Tennessee State University, the only HBCU with a Grammy. Shout out to us. I love teaching at Crossroads. I've taught in various landscapes all across the country. I've taught in Houston, Atlanta. I've taught in Nashville. I've taught in North Carolina, and of course, Kansas City. And what I can definitely say is, as a 7th year teacher, Crossroads has been an amazing place for me to be creative. It feels like a very safe place for me as a professional. More than anything, I feel heard, especially from my leaders. And so I love it. Like I said, I've been all over and Crossroads is definitely one of the best places to work.
So let me ask you, so it sounds like you had teaching experience prior to joining Crossroads Charter Schools. So what was the deciding factor? I'm sure you went through the interview process, you received an offer, then you ended up working there. What were some of the deciding factors for you deciding to work at Crossroads Charter Schools?
Crossroads' commitment to real world learning and project-based curriculum was the thing that solidified it for me.
Mm-hmm. And where are you from originally?
ATL, so I'm from Atlanta.
Okay. So this is an opportunity, I think, for us, because I'm sure we have some folks on the call right now that may not be from Kansas City. So you being from the South, from Atlanta, and now working in Kansas City, how have you adjusted, and what is it that you like most about living and working in Kansas City?
I love that there is minimal traffic. Coming from
That's a huge thing.
That's huge, right? I don't have to commute an hour and a half to work. I actually can walk because the compensation at Crossroads is very competitive. I am able to live downtown. A lot of the apartments here are preferred employers for educators. And so I'm able to also kind of finesse that a little bit. My mom always asks me, why do you like that little city all the way out there? It gets cold. But it's so cute. Like I said, I've lived in North Carolina, so I lived in Charlotte and love Charlotte. However, Kansas City just speaks to me in terms of its personality. This city is so colorful. It has a soul. It has so many like different neighborhoods that are cute with their own flair. So even though it is way smaller than Atlanta, it has so much personality.
So here's one of my favorite questions to someone that ends up in teaching. I think I see it as like there's 2 types of folks that go into teaching. Those folks that go take their educational path to be a teacher or an educator or be in education, and then those that maybe got their college degree, but maybe they didn't major in elementary education or something related, but they ended up in teaching. My mom was a teacher and my aunt was a teacher. And my mom was the latter, right? So she didn't come up with the plan to be a teacher, but then she got into education and then she loved being a teacher. What was it for you? How did you get or choose the field of education?
Yeah, so I actually didn't start off in education. Like I said, I lived in Nashville for a little while and I started out in public relations. So funny story, one of our clients, which was the National Museum of African American Music, they were having their summer music camp and one of the teachers did not show up. And so I stepped in to teach one of the music classes. I marched in the band. I was classically trained for 12 years. So it was so much fun. I loved it. Like that day, I decided I had to figure out, how do I get into the classroom? How do I become a teacher?
Awesome.
And I stumbled across Teach for America.
Okay.
And so, but Teach for America wasn't necessarily on my campus. They were at Vanderbilt, but they weren't on my campus. They have made strides to change that, but that is how I got into education, through Teach for America.
Awesome. So, hey, let me thank you for being one of our panelists, and to our candidates and those that are joining us this evening. All of our panelists will be in different breakout rooms. So if you have questions specifically for Alicia, for example, you could join her breakout room and ask those questions and engage. Okay, so next up, let me introduce our next panelist, who is Nick Jackson. And Nick is also a proud HBCU graduate from Lincoln University. So Nick, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Of course, my name is Nicholas Jackson. I am originally from Kansas City, Missouri. As he said, I am on my way to be a 3-time graduate of Lincoln University. I will be graduating with my ed specialist in school mental health. I am the college and career counselor here for Crossroads Preparatory Academy, which is our 7th through 12th grade school. I had a long path to actually get here. I actually originally went to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, marched as part of the marching musical machine of the Mid-South. I then decided to go into the military after going on a run one day. I ended up back in teaching when I was 18. So this is actually my 13th year in education. I have been in the classroom and now currently outside working with students. But I was one of those people that my degree didn't originally align with education because I got my associates. And then I fell back into teaching just because I fell in love with it. Overall, the culture here at Crossroads has been great. I have only been here for about a month. And even the kids say sometimes I felt like you've been here most of the year. It is a family atmosphere. It is really about a cultural fit. Not just having those qualifications on paper. And I really appreciate having that as like the basis of me being here.
Where are you from originally?
So I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay. So I can't ask you the question about relocating to Kansas City, but you stayed in Kansas City. So what is it that you like most about living and working in Kansas City?
So oddly enough, I've left Kansas City about 6 times. So I've moved to LA, New York, Arkansas, but it's, if you like jazz, if you like food, if you like water fountains, just sights, I mean, like Alicia said, it is a great place to be, as small as it is, and it does just like keep you here. There's so much to do, but then there's so much that you can build.
So can you tell us a little bit about your current role and what you do there at Crossroads Charter Schools?
Of course. So as the college and career counselor, I am pretty much over scheduling at the moment, making sure students are on path for their individual career and academic plans. I also do college tours, visits. Right now we're working with getting our students into like technical colleges, really helping students and even some of our staff sometimes figure out what's next, what's the route I should go, and how can I make being at Crossroads work for me with all of our real world learning opportunities.
Okay, so I know you've only been there for a short period of time, but I'm sure you have an impression. So what is it that you like most about working at Crossroads Charter Schools so far?
To be honest, my favorite thing is I have yet to hear the word no. Um, one thing I really have to say that I appreciate with everybody is no matter how crazy my ideas are as far as what I want to do next, it's never a no, it's just how can we make this fit? And having that support from, our administration team, even being able to talk to our superintendent and co-founder, a lot of people don't understand how important that is, because she's able to not only tell us what her vision is, but then she's able to work our visions into the overall Crossroad model. And just being downtown, it just kind of helps us because I'm around so much and I'm able to try to get the students involved in so much.
Excellent, excellent. So Nick, let me thank you for being one of our panelists. And again, to folks that may have direct questions for Nicholas, he'll be in our breakout rooms as well once we get to that section of the event. So thanks, Nick. So let me introduce our next speaker or panelist, who is Daniel Velasquez, who's a 4th grade teacher there at Crossroads Charter Schools. So Daniel, if you're ready.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here with you this evening. I'm the 4th grade teacher at Crossroads Quality Hill, one of our campuses. I've been now at the school for 2 months. I grew up in South America, in Paraguay, but I've been back in the United States now for 24 years, and I've been an educator for 12 years. And I'm excited to be at Crossroads. I've done a variety of things in education. I've worked in 2 other charter schools, both as a teacher and administrator. And I'm so excited to be back in the classroom with students now at Crossroads.
Excellent. So how did you get into the career path of education? That sounds interesting. What country are you from originally?
Yeah, I grew up in Asunción, Paraguay.
Okay, okay.
Landlocked heart of South America, right in the middle. I was actually working as a merchant in San Francisco, California, for a big American retailer called Neiman Marcus. As part of one of our initiatives, we started volunteering at one of the local schools in San Francisco. And I felt an immediate passion towards the students at that school. And I decided I wanted to become a teacher. I feel initially I wanted to support the Latinx community, my Latinx community. I had the opportunity of growing bilingual, going to an international school while studying abroad. And I wanted that same opportunity for my Latinx kids in the United States. It was really difficult for me to see that they were hesitant or afraid to talk in Spanish or bring their whole selves to school and the academic environment. I think I volunteered for about a month at a public school in San Francisco before I made up my mind to become a teacher. After that, it was just a matter of figuring out how I could go back to school and continue to keep a full-time job. But I knew from the get-go when I started college in San Francisco that I wanted to become a teacher. And so I worked towards that. It took me a little bit longer, but I have to say, if anybody's thinking of career changes, education is an exciting and fulfilling one.
I agree. I consider teachers and those in education as our real heroes, right? The everyday heroes. So no, I really appreciate that insight. So what is it for you that led you to Crossroads Charter Schools, and what is it that you like most about working there now?
So I was already working as an administrator in a different school. I felt I was missing something because I was not in the classroom during the pandemic. I was supporting teachers during the pandemic, but I wasn't actually teaching during the time. And so I kept hearing without understanding firsthand the struggle of teachers, how difficult it was to go back to in-person teaching, how difficult it was for students to get back into the swing of things. And so I wanted to go back into the classroom to see how our kids were doing. I think not being in the classroom during the pandemic made me want to go back.
Awesome. Awesome. So, hey, Daniel, I want to thank you for being one of our panelists. I'm not sure if you'll be able to join us in the breakout rooms, but if folks have, awesome. So Daniel will be in the breakout rooms as well. So if folks have questions for Daniel, you can connect with him in the breakout rooms. Actually, I saw a question in the chat, so that'll be a great question for the breakout rooms.
Yeah,
Thanks, Daniel.
excited to talk more.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So next up, we have Andrea Clayton-Jones, who's a PACE teacher at Crossroads Charter Schools. So Andrea, if you're ready.
Hello, as he said, I'm Andrea Clayton-Jones, and I am a PACE teacher. PACE stands for Preparing All Children for Excellence. It's a transitional kindergarten program here at Crossroads. It's a great, we call it a gift of the year for our scholars that are not quite ready to progress into the kindergarten curriculum. They get an opportunity to spend a year kind of gaining some ground academically, social, emotionally, behaviorally, so that we can make sure that they are strapped up and ready to go when they move into the rigor of kindergarten. I am a Kansas City native, born and raised. I came up through the KCPL public school system and graduated from Paseo Academy of Fine and Performing Arts. So these are my people. I went to school in Columbia, Missouri at Stevens College and gained a host of experiences through the Boys and Girls Club, the Hope Center, my sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. So just a lot of opportunities to interact with boys and girls in different ways. It was truly through the Boys and Girls Club experience that I was able to hone in on my craft as far as classroom management was concerned. And I had that opportunity before I graduated and stepped into the classroom. I spent the first 12 years of my teaching experience in Hickman Mills School District. And the end of my 12th year, I knew it was time for me to shift gears and move on and do something different. And funny enough, my mother was the executive director to Crosby Kemper down at the public library. And she was the person that was scheduling all the meetings between Dean and Ticey, our founders, with Crosby Kemper. And so she called me in 2011 and said, hey, they're getting ready to open up a school downtown. And I was like, what? That's closer to where I live. So she just kind of kept me abreast on when that opportunity presented itself. And as soon as they opened up the window to start taking on applicants for teaching, I got on immediately and signed up and sent it in. And it's been an amazing experience. So that I've been here at Crossroads for 12 years. I am one of the founding teachers. It has been an amazing experience for me as an educator.
So I've got two follow-up questions for you. And it looks like we're right on time too. So my first follow-up question is, what would you tell someone, so you being a native of Kansas City, what would you tell someone considering relocating to work there in Kansas City about why it would be a good place to live?
Truly, the partnerships and the opportunities that I've been able to create for my scholars downtown Kansas City has been amazing. We've been able to go into banks and create partnerships with the banks. We've gone into DST, which is a big company. They own a lot of the real estate down here. And they have partnered with us as far as fundraising for different things and coming in and working with our scholars. We did a storytelling opportunity. The kids walked around with their props and they allowed them to come into their businesses and practice retelling their fairy tales. So just the community here trying to expose kids to education in a real-time, real way has been an amazing thing.
And then what is it that you say you've been there for 12 years? What is it that keeps you there and engaged and the things you like about working at Crossroads Charter Schools? the most?
Honestly, I think a piece of my handprint is behind the paint on every wall in this place. My footprint is imprinted in every hallway in this place. The families here are so amazing and they partner in such a strong way. The staff here, this is my staff. These scholars, all of them, from this elementary building to the next, to the building, to the high school building. These are my kids. I go to the graduation every year. Those are my kids. We celebrate together, you know, all of the things that they've gained. And even with the new kiddos, scholars that come in each year, they're still ours. They're ours, and we own that. And we know that they are going to make a strong impact in Kansas City because of what we're giving them right here. And so that's what keeps me coming back.
Excellent, excellent. So, Andrea, we really appreciate you jumping on to be a part of the panel, and also as a part of our breakouts. So thank you all for all of your time and sharing your experiences, because I think this goes a long way with giving folks an idea of some of the, you know, personality of the folks that work at Crossroads Charter Schools. So thank you for that. So next up, let me introduce Gail Taylor, who's going to talk about pathways to Missouri teacher certification. So Gail, if you're ready.
I am ready. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I must say, I am very humbled and delighted to be a part of this program. You have seen my colleagues introduce themselves one by one, and they are absolutely incredible. And I just love being at Crossroads. Just a quick bit about my background. I first learned about Crossroads similar to the last presenter. We often refer to her as Miss CJ. And I also learned that there was going to be a new school opening up downtown. And as a grandmother, you want the very best for your grandchildren. And so I quickly got her parents involved and got my granddaughter enrolled in Crossroads Charter Schools. So that's my first experience with Crossroads. And I've loved it ever since. And then I worked very hard to figure out, hey, how can I be a part of this organization? And the opportunity opened up, and here I am, and loving every bit of it. So in my role as Director of Human Resources, part of what I do is help individuals navigate through the certification process to become teachers. I'm certainly not the expert, but I do want to share with you that there is a pathway to certification for teachers. Most of the teachers that are coming to us are experienced teachers, so you may already have your certification, and your certification may be from another state. If that's the case, our certification body for Missouri is the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Their information is on display right now. Become a certified teacher. There's also another path to certification, and that's if you're leaving a different career and moving into teaching. So that's also another path to certification. So my point to you is that there are many paths to certification, and I'm here to help you navigate through that process. And so is the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Included in the PowerPoint that you guys will have access to are several links. The last link is being displayed now, and it's showing the different pathways to certification. So please know that whether you're coming from a different state, whether you are not yet a teacher, or whether you are a teacher looking to move into a different concentration area, there's a pathway. And then also, if you're changing careers, there's also a pathway for you to become a teacher here at Crossroads Charter School. So please do take advantage of the links that will be provided to you. And also my contact information is available to help you navigate through the process.
Will, you're on mute.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. So let's talk a little bit about why I work at Crossroads Charter Schools. So I'll pass it back to you, Gil.
Okay, thank you. I think more than anything, even before we get to the compensation part, I think probably the most compelling thing for us to have you join the Crossroads team is that we accept you as you are. There's no one size fits all approach. And I can see some of our teachers nodding their heads now because we understand that individuals are exactly that. They are individual and they're individuals and they bring a certain skill set. And so they match greatly with our students that come from many different backgrounds and experiences. So the main driver here is that we accept you as you are, and then we bring you into the fold and we provide you with all the materials and training and support that you need to be successful at Crossroads Charter Schools. Now, the next slide gets to the money. Show me the money. So everybody's working, and we're working to earn a living, right? And so as part of that, we acknowledge that it's important that we pay our teachers well. We're not the community where our teachers are starving and struggling, as you may hear about on the news. Crossroads pays a very, very competitive salary to our teachers. On this chart, you'll see the salary scale, and you will see that new teachers with absolutely no experience as the classroom teacher, other than their educational experience and maybe their experience as a substitute teacher, we have them starting with a bachelor's degree at $46,524. That is, in many cases, more than some of the districts here in the greater Kansas City area. If you have a master's degree, the starting salary is $51,125. Equally important, for the experienced teachers, Crossroads decided last year that we wanted to really acknowledge the fact that we've got some experienced teachers that are coming to join the district. And as such, we acknowledge you on the salary scale by placing you on the level that is equivalent to your years of experience. I've worked in several other school districts, and many school districts set a maximum salary placement. For example, you may be a teacher that has 24 or 35 years of experience. And when you're coming to their district, oftentimes they will establish a maximum highest salary placement, and it may be at step 15 or step 18 maybe. Here at Crossroads, if you have 24 years of experience, we're going to place you on step 24. If you have 35 years of experience, we're going to place you on step 35. So we place you based upon your total years of experience. Now, the other part of our compensation, we talked about the salary. The other part of compensation is the benefits. So we have several plans to where Crossroads pays 100% of your medical, dental, and vision. 100% for your medical, vision, and dental coverage. Crossroads will pay for it. On top of that, if you select one of the plans that has a health savings account, we will contribute money to those health savings account. So I tell my friends that we pay our employees to participate in our insurance program because we cover it at 100%. So in addition to medical, dental, and vision, we also provide life insurance, we provide long-term and short-term disability, and we actually have 2 retirement plans. So one retirement plan is the traditional mandated retirement plan. And then the second retirement plan is a supplemental retirement plan, and it operates as a 401k. And that's where you can direct where your funds would go and direct how much you want to invest and where you want to invest. One of the other benefits that we have is, Tyson mentioned earlier, is that we introduced this year a paid family leave program. So individuals, based upon their years of service, have paid family leave for a certain period of time. We do many celebrations throughout the year. We have a wonderful winter or holiday party. We have a back to school party. We have a back to school breakfast, and then we have an end of the school year celebration. And yes, we do the wobble at our end of the year celebrations. We have a good time. Those that want to dance, dance. Those that want to play cards, and just all kinds of games and just fun activities. So we have that. And then we also recognize that teachers work really, really hard throughout the year, and they are working with students that experience a great amount of trauma and just different life circumstances that the teachers have to deal with. And as such, we do allow time off for teachers and staff to rejuvenate. So for Thanksgiving, we take the whole week off for Thanksgiving. So you're paid for the whole week of Thanksgiving. Winter break or Christmas break, we've been averaging about 2 weeks vacation, or 2 weeks for the winter break. It just depends on how the holidays fall. And then of course there's spring break. So we also have spring break. And then in between that, there's some other holidays. So we do have a generous paid holiday program. And then last but not least, we do have, as far as our calendar days, we had an opportunity to review our contract days, and we figured out a way to where we can meet the state requirements for instruction, and that we can do it in a condensed method. So this year, we reduced our total contract days to 189 contract days. I think it was probably about an 11-day reduction on the school calendar. So we've done many, many things, and we're constantly looking for opportunities to provide more benefits and a better working environment and just all kinds of improvements to meet staff where they are and acknowledge them in all the ways that we can possibly do, because we really value and appreciate our staff.
Excellent, excellent. So without further ado, thank you, Gail, for sharing that information. Sounds like an awesome environment and opportunity for our guests. So let's have like a brief 1-minute video about Kansas City, and then we're gonna get ready for our breakout session so folks can engage. So let's go ahead and run through the quick video that we wanted to share.
Now's the best time to be right here in the center of it all, the Midwest. What that means, what it stands for, is defined by us, not anyone else. because we know there's something happening here. It's time the center of the country became the center of attention. There's a new energy, a revolution of creativity in music, food, art, business. A new spirit in every neighborhood. New people, lots of new people, and with them, a bigger idea of what the Midwest can be. We call it the New Midwest. And it all starts here in Kansas City, the heart, the capital. Who better than us? We're just taking our rightful place, right where we've always been. The New Midwest. It wasn't a thing until we made it. Because that's how we do Kansas City.
Excellent, excellent. Got me ready to move to Kansas City. All right, but we are in the Midwest, by the way. All right, so let's go ahead and go over our administrative team that we have with us. Folks will also be in the breakout rooms as well. So you'll have an idea of who is in each area and who you'll be able to connect with. Starting off with Karis. Karis, if you'd like to introduce yourself and what you do there.
Awesome. I am Karis Walker. I'm the Chief Academic Officer for Crossroads.
Excellent. Thanks, Karis. Katie, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. My name's Katie Bizard. I am the principal at Crossroads Academy, Central Street. It's a K-6 school.
Excellent. Thanks, Katie. Lakeisha, if you're ready. Yep.
I am ready. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lakeisha Lewis, and I am the principal at Crossroads Charter School, the Quality Hill campus. Nice to meet everyone.
Awesome. Nikki, if you're ready.
Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. Hey, y'all. Good evening. Nikki Bates. I am the Director of Diverse Learners for the district, K-12, and I love it. Welcome. So glad to be here with y'all.
Thanks, Nikki. Dustin, if you're ready.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys. My name is Dustin King, and I'm our Special Education Director at Crossroads.
Awesome. Larry, if you're ready.
Hi, I'm Larry Washington, and I'm one of the vice principals here at Crossroads Preparatory Academy, our secondary campus.
And am I correct that Tamika's not able to be with us this evening?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So those are some of the folks that we have, but of course that is not all of the folks that will be in the breakout rooms. But we wanted to give a quick introduction, and then we also wanted to invite you to actually apply. While these before the event is over, you can actually go into the application. We'll talk about that after we come back from the breakout rooms. But Louisa, if you can kind of copy and paste those links into the chat so everybody has that as we go into the breakout rooms. All right, so here are the breakout rooms that we've set up for you, and I'm going to go over some quick instructions so that you all can make the most of this opportunity. We don't always have the opportunity to have breakout rooms where you can have some really small close-knit conversations and ask questions and even introduce yourself and network with members of the team. So we really want you all to take advantage of these breakout rooms. And if you need to, or if you're curious, you can jump from one room to the other. You don't have to stay in one room for the whole time, but the Crossroads Charter Schools team is here for you. So the first room, we have diverse school leadership. So those are some of the opportunities that may be outside of the classroom, but in leadership positions within Crossroads Charter Schools. And we have elementary education, we have exceptional education or special education, and then we have secondary education as a breakout room as well. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the breakout rooms so that you all can take advantage with the time that we have left. And as you jump into the rooms, you can actually self-select into the rooms once I open them up. If anyone needs help getting into a room, just let me know. I'll stay here in the main session and help folks get into the appropriate room with the time that we have left remaining. But please engage, ask questions, and take advantage of this opportunity to network with the Crossroads Charter Schools team. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the rooms, and you all can jump into the room of interest and then move around as you see fit. And we have roughly 20 minutes for the breakout rooms. Thank you all. Need help? I'll be right here in the main session to help you out. Yeah, for those that need help, if you need help getting into a room, just type it into the chat, or you can come off of mute and let me know if you need help. Daniel, were you in elementary or secondary?
Elementary.
Okay, I got you. Reg, I'm going to throw you into one of the rooms just to keep an eye out for any support. All right, if anyone else needs help getting into a breakout room, just let me know. Feel free to come off of mute or to drop it in the chat. I'm keeping an eye on the chat. All right. And if anyone needs any help, let me know. Thanks, Ticey. If you all would like, we can share that information in our post-event email to all the candidates as well about the virtual school option through MOCAP.
Yes, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, we just probably need a link to whatever information is there. Happy to do that.
Okay, I'll share that.
And Jones, I will get you into the secondary education room. 1 second. Secondary education, there you go. So we've got Earl, hopefully you saw that comment about the MOCAP program virtual school option through the state system. So feel free to jump into a breakout room or let me know if you need help. I've got Martin, Miss David, and then VVBP.
I did see it. I appreciate it. Is there a breakout room for the MOCAP, or is it strictly for the physical campuses only right now?
For actually, it's broken down by the types or levels of education. There's school leadership, there's elementary level, and there's secondary level, and then special education.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Sure. If you need help jumping into a room, or if you'd like to jump in yourself, that's awesome. Welcome back, everyone. Bring everyone back to the main session to close things out in about 30 seconds. About 15 seconds. Looks like folks are still going pretty strong in secondary education.
I think you have to bring them back.
Yeah, we got about, I think that's, the time is up.
I can't believe you just kicked us out like that.
You guys were getting busy. All right. So what we wanted to do is thank everyone, first of all, for taking the time out. We know folks have busy schedules. I imagine if you're already a teacher that you that we're asking a lot for you to come right after work and meet with us. But we want to just thank everyone for taking the time out, for coming to this event to learn more about Crossroads Charter Schools. I wanted to thank Crossroads Charter Schools for presenting their opportunities and making sure your opportunities are shared with more diverse audiences inside of Kansas City and out. We are happy to share this video recording with everyone that was not able to make it. And we will be sharing the resumes from those folks that signed up as well. So you all will have that. But I wanted to pass it over to Gail Taylor to talk about next steps and to set expectations for those that are ready to apply. And Louisa, if you could drop the application links one more time in the chat while Gail kind of goes over expectations. So Gail, if you're ready.
Yes, thanks, Will. Thanks everyone for attending. We are looking forward to continuing our conversations with you. We have posted the links to apply for either secondary or elementary positions, and that would cover all classifications. So if, for example, if you're interested in special education on the elementary level, then you would apply on the elementary school teacher link, or if you're interested in secondary, you apply secondary. Additionally, we've provided the link to our website address to where you can see all of our positions posted, and we encourage you to apply really soon for a position that you are interested in. We have already started our hiring process for the 23-24 school year, and we've actually already extended contracts. So we are moving quickly, and we would love to include you in our hiring process. My contact information is listed should you have any questions, and thank you again for participating, and we look forward to continuing our conversation with you.
Awesome. Thanks, Gail. And customary to our events, I usually like to give the last word to our keynote or the person that kicked us off. So Ticey, I see you're still with us.
Yeah.
You'd like to kind of just have the final word for our candidates for the event. Appreciate it.
Yeah, please apply. Come to Crossroads, come to Kansas City for those who are not in Kansas City. So I did put in the chat that we keep saying it's a small town, but we do have 2.3 million people here. So it's not like, what's the old small town? I forget the name of the town, but it's not like an old small town like that. It's a city, 2.3 million people. But thank you for your time. I know as educators you are busy and tired, so thank you for coming. If you have any other questions, please contact us. We would love to have you for a tour, to just chat with you and just see if you have any other questions. So thank you for your time, everyone.
Thanks, Ticey. To all of our candidates, please look out for an email from us with the next steps. We'll have the application links. We'll have Gail's contact information. We'll have a post-event survey as well to give us feedback on how we're doing. And then those next steps will be crystal clear to you to take action. So we highly encourage you all to take advantage of this opportunity and look forward to hearing from some of you with some good news. Thanks everyone for coming, and have a great evening. Take care.
Have a beautiful evening, everyone.
Thank you.